It'll take a minute. You'll be happy that you did it. Just go over to your oven and shove your hand.
All right. All right, Ironhead, you can turn that down. I forgot about that. That disgusted me when I heard that.
He asked me for my nicknames.
Why did you say that?
I had two, and one of them was Aggro Crag.
Oof.
So exactly.
Why did I just say I don't have one?
I don't know.
And I noticed, if you missed the Jerry Callahan program, we're referring to the fact that Jerry started the show by saying, "All right, Ironhead, let's do this." Referring to Craig, I guess. And then at the end, I noticed, and this is no fault of yours, but I noticed he cut off the plugs pretty abruptly.
You sure did. I did notice.
Turtle Boy, how about you go for 25 minutes? And then we'll get out of here.
I was ready. I was like, all right, we're going to go. Very good show. Blind Mike, Patreon. And he's like, all right, thanks for coming. Happy 4th of July.
He's not having it. There is also, and this is this is not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the fault of Zoom, maybe. But you threw out one line. You did like a little OJ impression. You said, "Hey, Twitter world," and they were disgusted. At least that's how it came across.
I don't think they could hear me. They were both talking, and neither one of them could hear them at the beginning of sentences. And it's like it was like this, but with two more people on headsets.
Yeah. Well, hello, Matt. Welcome back.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, buddy? So I listened to a very good show today, which everyone should go check out. You can hear Craig and Matt, and sometimes Mike, if his internet works.
Mike.
And I heard two things. One criticism of each of you, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
I've been letting Craig slide on this picture of mental health bullshit that he portrays. Like he's just this, he's a guy that doesn't let nothing bother him. And then he's telling a story and very casually throws in, "So I'm staking out the homeless guy that lives in my neighborhood." And I was like, this is a man with darkness like we've never seen.
I thought Franco was stealing power tools from my neighbor's construction site.
And now you're just a gumshoe that lives next door, right?
So if you did listen, it seemed as if he got picked up by the cops. That was where we left off, basically.
Okay.
Haven't seen him since, so I think they actually took him.
They're cleaning up the streets.
Look at that.
Jeez.
That's good.
Wasn't
and then my criticism for Matt is simply, you guys seem to do, I hate the term an edgy show because it seems like you're trying, but you're just yourselves. You talk shit, you say horribly racist things on there and everything. And I noticed on this program, it felt very out of place when Matt said, you guys are talking about Mike. So Mike's internet didn't work. He was late to the show, all that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt says, I hate to say it, but I'm agitated. And I was like, whoa, easy, fellas. Come on. I'm going to get kicked off Apple.
So that was it. That was during the overtime because I picked up on that too. He was literally sitting next to me like he is right now, just shaking.
Yeah.
Hey, pardon my language, but I'm ticked.
Listen, I'm really construed right now. How dare they?
I'm fucking ticked, dude. That's exactly how it came across.
I'm miffed. Pardon my French. So, Matt, you've been missing. We were just trying to figure out. I was like, I don't know when the last time. I thought you guys did very good show at some point on Patreon in June, but maybe not. I feel like I haven't seen you in a dog's age.
Oh, I know. It definitely feels like it's been a fucking long time.
Is it? And I was under the impression that part of it was depression related. You disappeared.
Mostly. I isolated away from everything, which is the best thing to do in that situation.
Sure is.
So ones basically.
So it happened right around the time. If you've been listening to Very Good Show and you're all caught up, Matt went on a date. It was very boring.
Oh yeah.
It just weren't vibing. It sounded like from my listening. And then it seemed like you kind of disappeared. Was it because of that? Because you seemed fine talking about it.
I don't get bummed out about my dating life and shit like that.
It was some other real problem if you did.
It'd be a real problem. I'm pretty sure I'd be dead.
Never get out of bed.
That's the pitch. That's the pitch for Sacco is get Matt love.
Yeah, man.
Well, it sounds like I gotta say, quick aside, we won't do much time on this, but I heard the lineup for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys stand a chance.
I was gonna say, yeah, you should just go in and represent us. Don't tell me.
With a briefcase suit.
That would actually be wicked funny. So if you got free time, do it.
Well, listen to that tomorrow to hear what we're referring to. But so what did trigger it? What made you disappear?
Well, there was I don't even fucking kind of remember most of it, but there was something that happened with my sister. She did something wicked fucking stupid, and it scared everybody. That had something to do with it.
And that triggers you, or
it was more or less I was worried about her
okay.
because she's kind of going down a path that I was starting to recognize some signs with.
Yeah.
And I have oh my god, I am fucking poop brain right now.
You I do recall because I remember talking to you that you said you fucked up your dosages or didn't take
yeah, I didn't take it for a little while, and that was another thing too. I stopped taking my medicine.
Well, I've been very lucky with that so far.
Haven't missed one.
No, I have. And I was fucked up a little bit in the but I also think that might have even been like psychosomatic. Like I realized I hadn't taken it for 2 days. And then I started feeling like shit.
Yes. Yeah. What do you take? Just wondering.
Wellbutrin.
Wellbutrin
is what I take every day. Yeah.
All right. Well, see, mine's Prozac, and Prozac actually has like a withdrawal period from it, which is so shitty.
Okay. Yeah. So everything I've heard of lucky Wellbutrin works because a lot of people have shitty experiences on it, and it does nothing for them other than fucking make them gain weight or not get erections. Or
Wellbutrin or Prozac?
Wellbutrin.
All right, because Prozac does the same thing. It fucks with
I think they all do.
Yeah, it's just something fucking.
I'm looking at him right now, like, yeah, I guess.
I think all meds are just a test. Like these guys are depressed. Let's make them fatter, and they can't get hard. It's like they're watching us through the other side of a two-way mirror.
You got like a 5-way mirror.
Yeah.
No, like the date just sounded like the nail in the coffin. It sounded so brutal.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know what's funny about that shit too is like,
like to you guys, it sounded brutal. To me, that was just like, oh yeah, that makes a bunch of sense. That's just my life. That's how that goes.
But you know what? With that type of shit is, I think, and maybe you're totally different, but at least with me, there's things where I'm like, that doesn't contribute to it at all, and then you realize, at least for me, at some point on that date, I would have been like, not only does this girl not like me, no girls like me. I'm fucking boring. I can't make conversation with people. I would have gone into that sort of spiral. And even if I felt fine afterwards, I was like, hey, we just didn't vibe. Somewhere in my brain, I'm telling myself that I'm a piece of shit because it didn't work out. You don't have that at all?
I mean, I definitely do have that.
Yeah.
I just need you to like do that to my face right now.
For the people watching this, you should just go back and rewind and watch Matt crumble as that sentence was
like kind of high. I just went.
His shoulders sunk about 2 feet.
Well, be great. We don't see him for another couple months now.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the reason I say that is that I did the same type of shit where I wasn't acknowledging what I felt shitty about. You know what I mean? Like I might feel shitty in the moment, and then afterwards I'd slough it off and like tell everyone, it's no big deal. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But that's a way of kind of just like ignoring your problems, even though there's not like it's tough because it's ignoring your problems, but there's also nothing you could have done that would have made you and that girl have any sort of chemistry. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing could have saved.
Nothing was going to save that day. Fucking train wreck. It was one of those like I felt it on both our parts though, because like
no, the worst part was when I think you said it this week when you texted her after. It was like, "Hey, you want to hang out again?" She's like,
she's like, nah.
Do I have to?
Like you're kind of. She didn't say you're kind of anything, but it was just like in her head. I could definitely like you're kind of a fucking mess.
I could never. I was the shittiest at. I mean, until a certain age, I think you start to figure it out. But like when I was younger, I was the worst at reading signals. That were when a girl was like, "Oh yeah, actually this weekend I'm busy." I'm like, "How about next weekend?" She's like, "Yeah." busy then too. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll try you back in 2 weeks. And she's like, nope, still. And I'm like, boy, this is what the heck is going on in this gal's life? She's so darn busy. So then I just come off like I could never come that way. You never come off as the cool guy. Then you're the annoying fuck that won't leave her alone because you're so optimistic that you think she can't be lying to get away from me.
And if that happens in high school, that ruins your dating career for the entire 4 years.
Oh my God.
If something happens freshman year, you're that guy until you don't see them anymore.
It's the shittiest thing too, because it's weird. Girls do like nice guys. Like there are girls that like a nice guy. And I always told myself, oh, that's bullshit. Girls don't like nice guys because they shit all over me. I'm the nicest guy in the world. But I was desperate. You know, there's a difference between nice because you want people to like you and just being a nice, confident guy. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure that's what they mean by bad boy, is just someone with confidence.
Yeah.
Especially now in this generation, because they don't want a real bad boy, because a bad boy's down at fucking, you know, the Capitol building on January. You know? So they definitely don't want that now. But yeah, it's funny. Like it took me so long to understand that, because I was like, I'm being nice. Hey, but like being nice would be holding the door open for a girl, not holding the door open for a girl going like, can we go out now? Look how nice I am.
Yeah. Please.
Do you have that at all, Matt? Because you seem like that. I feel like we relate on a lot of these levels.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have that about me, but I don't like. I don't know. Like, I understand. Like, nobody owes me anything especially when it comes to the dating game and shit like that. Like, just because you're nice to people, it doesn't mean like, oh, right away, like, oh, you're my girlfriend now.
Right.
It's how I've always been like that, though.
I've never seen someone take rejection as well as him, except for
this
really?
Guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
He'll go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, you want to like get a drink?" They'll be like, "No," and he'll just be like, "All right," and walk away.
That's good. Now you should know inside there is a world of hurt going on that he's not letting you in on. But that is good that he pretends like that.
No, I would find out like the next day when we make plans and he's 3 hours late.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sorry, I was sleeping the whole time."
I'm doing fine.
Down his face.
I'm doing fine as I scream it into the void.
He in the moment handles it well.
Yeah. Oh, I should say too, if you're in the comments right now, first of all, this isn't live. That would be ridiculous. So if the $1 people ask, this is not a live stream. But if you are in the comments right now, we will answer questions at the end. So if you have any depression or anxiety or life-related questions, feel free to fire away. But yeah, so I was also, as far as, I think that, I feel like we kind of vaguely have a theme each week, so I'll stay with the dating thing for a minute. Right. Because I was kind of like, I was always a guy, this was a big thing with me too. And I'm gauging that it's not as much with you, but like when I was younger, like Alba's my first serious girlfriend. It would always be like I was hooking up and I was in a lot of positions, you know the Mitch Hedberg joke? Where he's like, I don't have a girlfriend, but I do have someone that would get very mad if she heard me say that.
Yeah.
I had a few of those in my day, but never like a serious girlfriend.
Yeah, I've only had 2 serious girlfriends my whole life.
Yeah.
So
how old are you?
I'm 29. I'm 20. Holy shit, I'm 29.
So am I.
Young bucks.
Yeah, man.
So so I would always tell myself like, oh, I would just be happy if I had a girl. Like I would put this pressure on this fictional person to like fix me.
Stay single.
And then well, I can't now. But I like, so in my mind, like when I started dating Alba, and she was like very good about all my fucking mood swings and breakdowns and shit. But when I was having those, I was like, well, why didn't this was supposed to fix me? I'm not lonely anymore. But I was still like, I was behaving like a lonely, depressed person. You know what I mean? Like now I just had someone in my life that I was also neglecting.
She's right there.
Yeah. Now I just have someone in my house that I'm also being shitty
to. No, when it came to like being in relationships and shit like that, it's a lot like you said. Like if you don't like yourself, it's hard to kind of judge somebody that likes you
Yeah.
for some fucking reason.
Oh yeah. Our buddy Alan, who's a stand-up comic, had the best bit on this, and he said, "Yeah, I like want to get into dating, but if anyone is gonna date me, she's trash." Shout out
That's the weird thing too. This is always weird to like figure out in your head. Where in my like, if you asked me, if you know, I talk plenty of shit, but if you dosed me with a little truth serum, I would say like Alba's way, you know, she's ruining her life. She's making a huge mistake. Like, she could do a lot better. There's no, you know, run as fast as you can, I would say. But when my family says that all the time, they're like, "Oh, you could do a lot better than him."
my family says that so much it's come up in like fights.
Right, to the point where I'm like, okay, funny the first time. You don't have to take her aside and say that now.
No. I'm saying that happens all the time still. But I'm saying, if me and Laura get into fights, she's like, even your uncle blah 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 said this, and I'm like,
oh,
he was fucking joking.
Oh,
he's
man.
being nice. Well, then I wonder if they're being nice. So, like, me and my grandfather are very, very similar people. Like, but pretty much, if you met him, you would say, "Oh, this is where he got his personality." You know, I'm basically a 75-year-old curmudgeon. So, well, lovable curmudgeon, but a curmudgeon. And he's also legally blind, and yeah, and doesn't like to travel. You know, he's a very introverted guy, all that type of shit. And so my grandmother has taken my girlfriend aside before and been like, "Oh, don't expect to, you know, have a crazy social life or anything like these guys, you know, like talking shit about me." Where I'm like, "Hey, lady, how about talking me up a little bit? You know, I'll probably marry her, but it's not set in stone yet. Let's not fucking blow this thing."
Yeah, no, I get that all the time. Like, you can do better than him. What are you settling down with him for? Like all that shit. And I'm like, haha. And
That doesn't hurt.
It's never bugged me until she's used it as ammo in fights.
Right, where you realize, oh, she thinks that too.
She thinks that they're being serious.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on.
I am fucking deleting all these apps like right now. That sounds like a fucking train wreck. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's every woman and every family, I think. Dude, have you said that your grandfather's legally blind before?
Haven't I?
I don't know.
Oh, well, breaking news. No, I'm pretty sure I've said that before.
You might have, maybe forever ago, and I just.
But it's never been a subject of discussion.
I think that would. I feel like you should be, you know, like.
Well, so I mean, I'm sure
Earning.
I've said it in this. So everyone always asks me if it's hereditary,
Right.
or how I got it, and I always say both parents have to have the gene. So my grandfather has it on my mom's side, and someone down the line has it on my dad's side.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
recall.
Okay.
No, we've never had like where Kirk's asked about it, or I've talked about it on any. It's never been a subject really, but I think I've mentioned it at least.
That seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, hey, ask questions on that if you'd like as well. I didn't know it was so interesting, but yeah. I mean, I had to get it from somewhere. You know, that'd be real shit luck if I just got it.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, no one's ever had this in your family, but
Like,
good luck.
He could be your master splinter. You learn the ways.
Well, that was the annoying thing. Oh, you know what? Here's where I've probably mentioned it on a solo episode of Hanging with Blind Mike or something, where he's a very like confident guy. He's very set in his ways. Doesn't give a fuck what other he likes doing what he likes to do, and he doesn't give a fuck if people are like I said. My grandmother was like, "Oh, don't expect to do." That really bothered me. He wouldn't give a fuck if I was like, "Hey, did you hear what my grandmother said?" He'd be like, "Yeah, fuck her."
Yeah.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
And Mike's over here having like math problems fly over his head,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what that guy meant by that tweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I said this. I don't know if you have this, Matt. I said this. I was talking about this last week where I was like, I'll play around good naturedly with a lot of things, but even when I do that, just know that there was at least a split second where I'm like, well, what the fuck do you mean by that? Where I'm taking it ultra seriously.
I don't know if there's any truth to this, but Lab Rat says, I find it interesting that men and women choose different methods of suicide.
Is that true?
Is that? I've never.
Let's look that up.
Yeah.
Let's do some Googling on that.
Let's see. Men.
I mean, that would make sense. You know what? I feel like I've heard something like this where men are more. Isn't it more that women attempt suicide more and men?
Well, they for sure threaten it.
That's what I mean. Like women have more failed attempts at suicide, but men have, they finish the job.
Suicide is an important public health problem worldwide, especially due to an increasing rate of suicides committed by violent methods.
So guys kill themselves more violently compared to women, or
the most prevalent methods of suicide attempts were pharmacological drug abuse.
Say that again.
PHARM.
Pharmacological.
But there's a weird C in there.
Oh, pharmacological?
That's what I said. I
Oh,
think.
like pharmacy. I got it.
Pharmacological.
Okay.
42 points.
Two fucking retards. Oh, like pharmacy.
That's usually what pharma is. That C just broke my brain. 42.3%, and I don't even want to try that one, Matt. What do you got?
no? I got no. I'm fucking. I
Read
can't
that.
Read
that word.
Hey, Lab Rat, you brought this to the table. Give us some follow up here.
Assanguination?
I don't know what the fuck that says. That's not a word.
Asphyxiation.
We should just do.
Asphyxiation.
It's not asphyxiation.
No, that's not asphyxiation.
We should just make this into looking up medical terms and suicide stats. We don't talk about our own experience or anything. We're just raw numbers and data.
This is like a real website. It's a .gov, and this is a sentence in it. The least frequent were poisoning and throwing oneself under a moving car.
The least frequent.
Yeah.
Those can't be the least frequent.
I would think that throwing yourself off of shit would be number one.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too.
Oh, I would think ODing would be number one.
Yeah, I guess
that's not
right.
always
Fuck.
on purpose.
Yeah, but come on. I mean,
it's easy enough to swallow.
It's still the easiest way to. That's how I was going to do it.
Actually, Lab Rat probably knows a lot about this.
Want to try to kill himself?
No.
He watches this program enough.
No, but ODing, he might know a thing or two. Hanging is number one.
I like that they say poisoning is the least. It's like there's got to be one guy who was a unique, like he's the only one to ever do something.
Wouldn't you assume that poisoning is Lab Rat's 0 for 2? I'm gonna have to talk to him after this. Women almost never hang themselves or shoot themselves. Oh, okay. They're doing like the bath.
Pussies.
Yeah, they're doing the bathtub shit while men are going out like Clint Eastwood.
And Clint Eastwood cutting their wrists and fucking lighting themselves on fire and shit.
Goddamn right.
I would hang myself from a fan and then right as I'm about to die, shoot myself with a shotgun.
Fucking, what was that fucking dude from NXS who he hung himself while he was jerking off? What the fuck is that called?
Oh,
asphyxiation.
autoerotic asphyxiation.
That's a man's death.
That's
what that is.
That's a man.
Humana.
We had a string: Robin Williams, Chris Cornell,
The dude.
and who's the other guy? It was in the span of like
the Kill
maybe
Bill
a year or something.
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill guy.
Oh, maybe.
Bill. The guy. Who played,
yeah.
The guy.
Chester Bennington, right?
Yeah, Chester Bennington was another one.
Yeah.
No, I thought he just hung himself.
Oh, maybe. Well, no, they all hung themselves.
Yeah, they all hung themselves.
Yeah, the guy who played Bill in Kill Bill fucking jerked off and.
Oh, that's
confirmed that he was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some guys you don't know, they could have been, they could say they hung themselves, but they're just,
David Carradine
playing around. Oh, I know that name. Okay.
Bourdain.
Did Bourdain hang himself too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did.
No, hanging's a big one.
I don't know why. I was so sad. I was not even like a Bourdain fan, but that one bummed me out for I don't know why that got me.
You know what it is?
He came across so happy.
Maybe, yeah, and he had a cool life.
That's how you took him?
All right, here we go.
I don't know. Just from watching his shows and stuff like that, and I
don't know about happy, but he had a cool life. Like, he did cool
he had a
shit.
cool life, but he had like a very like his demeanor was always very like blah and stuff. I'm not trying to shit on the guy. It's just that's how he kind of came off with
Shit on
everything.
Yeah, and I mean, he was like a heroin addict, right?
He was. I mean, I don't deny that he was.
But aren't all artists heroin addicts?
I
I
mean,
don't know if Anthony Bourdain was an artist as much as that.
I was being
Just
a
a cool guy.
I was being a douchey hipster barista. That was the character I was playing
fucking-
there.
that guy really did have like Dave Chappelle said the best. That guy had the best job in entertainment industry. His job was to go around the world, eat amazing food with amazing people, and then just like either break down the fucking meal with the person if it was good or bad, and then that was the fucking show.
That also just tells you like how real depression is. Like, I always hated people that my grandfather was the first person I actually heard say this too. Like, he would talk like there were, especially old school people, you know, like my parents and grandparents' generation would refer to suicide as like the coward's way out or something. And I remember my grandfather saying, "Coward's way out." That's fucking, he goes, "You're in a state that you can't even believe." He's like, there are people that like you could not imagine that have such a great life on the outside and that take their own life. So you have to be in such a state that nobody understands to do that to yourself. And I'll tell you a little story here. You mentioned shooting yourself with a shotgun.
While hanging from a ceiling fan, yes.
I'll deter you in case you ever actually think of doing that. I will deter you. Do you remember Kruger from Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Also in Super Troopers, the only two things I know him from.
Mm-hmm.
He shot himself with a shotgun. The bullet missed whatever part of his brain would have killed him and just fucking lodged in his brain, fucked up his jaw and his face and all this shit. And he had to call 911 himself to be like, "Come on, get me!" Like fucking Buscemi in Fargo.
Fucking God.
But wouldn't he just want to bleed out and die?
That's what I said. We're like, well, can't you shoot yourself again? Like, try, you know what I mean?
I imagine cocking a shotgun with no face is pretty difficult.
It's got to be tough. But also, I think even if you do have the, peace of mind to do that, maybe there's a moment of realization like, I shouldn't have done this.
Whoops.
Maybe that's totally what fucking hit him.
Well, that's why I'm going to be also hanging, so it's a foolproof system. So if I fuck up the shot, I still got my backup plan.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Now, if I was actually to a point that I would kill myself, I'm jumping off something really tall.
See, that seems the fall is so long though.
Yeah.
These are the things I think about. These are the things that go to guys like me and Matt who have actually thought this through.
Well, I don't know about you, Mike, but I'm really afraid of heights. Like, I mean, like deathly afraid of fucking heights, and that just sounds like hell to me.
It sounds like, well, so here's the other thing is it sounds very painful. Like, I don't think they say you die on impact, but there would be at least a second where you're like, well, this was unpleasant.
Well, you probably pass out before you hit.
Maybe.
I think
if you jump off like the Empire State Building or something.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. You'd be like, oh, and like fucking just of nerves, even though you wanted to kill yourself. You're like, I shouldn't have done it.
That has got to be, and that's a stat you'll never find because it's impossible. But I do wonder how many people would have regretted it. You know what I mean? Well, I'm sure it's a high number, but it's like that's the part that kind of keeps me from, like, even when I was at my worst, would keep me from like, well, the two things would be like, there are people that like love you that would be very sad, and also like, what if I don't decide I don't want to do it, but it's too late, you know?
Mike Harris in the comment section says the fear on the way down is horrifying. How the fuck do you know, dickhead?
His whole life has been that.
This week for sure.
I gotta say, I feel like Mike, when I'm on your show, Mike is my Cullinane. Like, I light up. He brings the best out of me, I think.
Yeah.
Just hearing his name brightened my day. And I'll say, no offense to you, gentlemen, he's my favorite member of a very good show.
I know you've told me that
Understandable.
before. Don't tell him why he's watching. That's just gonna.
And I didn't think it was right of you guys to give him shit for his internet being bad. That's not. What can he do about that?
Ben here.
Ben here, like he said he was gonna.
All right, yeah, maybe he could have done something about it, but
That happened to me, and I'm here.
Yeah, remember when Matt had the issues and he dropped what he was doing and drove up here and hasn't done a remote since?
That's what depression drives you to do. Like, I don't want to fucking bother anyone, so I'm just going to go way out of my way.
Just out here people pleasing and shit.
Mike, 3 minutes before the show, I can't come up. All right. And then internet issues and mic issues.
Mic issues.
No, Mike, MIC issues.
Oh.
That'd be great if you had a problem with me and I just said all that nice shit. Yeah, like I said, if you guys do have any questions, depression related or whatever we're talking about, fire away in the comments. But there was one I talked about, or I guess two, but there was one I thought was genuinely good that I think you can, based on what you've said so far today, man, I feel like you can relate to. But someone, I think it was our boy Kirk 5K, or if I'm getting that wrong, I apologize. But I think he asked something to the effect of like, we talk about a lot about depression and suicide, like the suicide aspect of depression on the show. But he's like, what is the day-to-day, like mundane parts of depression feel like? I thought that was actually a really good question because people don't really talk about that as much.
No, that's a great question. Like, I don't know, you getting up.
Me getting up, fucking literally just kind of even just doing anything seems to be a fucking drag of the mud.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to fucking put that into like an actual.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way I kind of described it is you go through, I mean, you're almost like a zombie or a weird shell of yourself where you don't realize, this is at least for me, I'm sure everyone's different, but you don't realize how depressed you're acting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, people always talk about like the woe is me shit with me. And I would say, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And that was genuine. But being in a very different state of mind now, these last few months, I can look back and completely understand what people are talking about.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So you're in a state of mind where you don't even realize necessarily how you're behaving. You might not even realize that you are depressed, but your behavior is being taken out on other people, and it causes you to be very lazy. That's another thing I wrote. Like when people would say lazy, I was like, I don't get, like, I'm doing all these shows and shit like that, but like there is an aspect of laziness where, or not so much laziness, but like fear of disappointing people, where the best option you feel like is, well, then I'm not going to try that because I don't want to fail at it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, for me, especially because it's like you said, taking it out on people and stuff like that, like whether it's like,
You're the king of that.
yeah, I'm fucking off on it. And then I like go, like, I do it to Craig kind of a lot. And I apologize about that. Like, I really don't mean it. And there's really no excuse for it, but
I get it.
Sometimes when I feel like I'm in that fucking mood, I think that's why it's easy for me to isolate away from everything, because my shit should just not be somebody else's fucking problem.
Right.
And
right, yeah. For me, and I think that similar to you, not to the state of, I mean, I guess it is isolation in a way, where I would not do things for 10 million reasons, but the gist of it was I don't want to be around people and embarrass myself.
Right.
There would be situations where it's like I don't want to go to a bar or a dimly lit restaurant because I don't want to walk in and not be able to see and make an asshole of myself. I don't want to be around people I don't know because I'm very socially awkward, all that shit. And, some of it's real anxiety and some of it's excuses for not wanting to be around people. But like, yeah, you completely isolate yourself.
Labrat asks, what's your go-to sad music? Good question.
Ooh, great question. I have I mix it up. The reason the theme song is what it is because I listen to a lot of Bo Burnham shit.
yeah, love him.
He is excellent. And sometimes it's maybe not the best thing because it almost gets you like, well, what's the fucking point, man? But yeah, like shit like Art is Dead is a very good song. The shit like that he does as Kanye. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't remember. But like he's basically doing a Kanye thing where he kind of just rants. That's very good. But other than that, like I'll kind of just play shit that's in my head that's not necessarily like a sad song. Like the one that's coming to mind is That's Life by Frank Sinatra. Whereas I would usually listen to it and be like, that's a nice tune.
But
But like if I'm what's that?
But lyrically, it's kind of devastating.
Well, that's the thing is when I would be in a mood, when I would be at my ultimate sadness, and usually fucking drinking alone back in those days, I would be like, fucking the words. Sinatra fucking gets it, man. Like, like I would put a meaning on it that probably wasn't even there at times.
Yeah. This is pretty good here. Labrat says.
Well, what was Matt's? Does Matt have one?
Oh, I could, dude. I can literally name off fucking discographies of fucking shit.
You seem like that kind of guy. Like,
oh, dude,
cut my life into pieces.
That band fucking sucks, though. But, but no, like Radiohead shit is fucking awesome. Converge is one of the best bands I've ever listened to for that. You guys don't give a fuck about that. I'm aware of that, but fuck it, let's get it out there.
Yeah, he always talks about this. That's why I was just not going to let him go because it's literally too many.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
A remainder of this time will be talked about that if you let me go on about it.
That's my big pet peeve on Very Good Shows. When him and Mike talk music, I immediately stop it.
I know.
I'm not a music guy. I have no interest in it, really.
They talk about underground bands that no one knows. And I'm like, why are we doing this to people listening?
Well, for me, it's also, I only listen to, for me, Nate Bargatze is the best bit that sums up my music taste. Where he goes like if you ask me my favorite song, I could tell you. Like, he's like, maybe it's some Taylor Swift song. And then I realize I don't know one single word to that song. It's like I could just kind of like the melody. Like I don't really give a fuck about music.
Labrat says he hates his birthday and holidays because they are days that you were supposed to be happy by default, and people get confused if you aren't happy on Christmas or your birthday. Unwarranted attention is brutal when you were going through it. I end feeling like I have to force happiness to not drag down the occasion.
Yeah. Well, this is what a little selfish little cunt I am, is that on those days, I generally do hate myself and I don't want any attention. I don't want anyone to say anything. And then when they don't, I'm like, this motherfucker, you don't remember my fucking birthday, you piece of shit?
See, I'm like the opposite. If you say happy birthday to me on my birthday, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And if you don't, I'm like, great. I just don't want to. That's another person I don't have to like text back right now.
It's all I'll think about. If you don't wish me a happy birthday, then I'm dwelling on. I'm like, well, you know what? They're not getting a happy birthday from me. That's my great revenge. I'm Xing them off the list of happy birthdays.
I got tweets in my drafts for the August 13th and 31st. I'm ready to go. The two of you turning 30, you're both going to be depressed. I'm going to hate my life that month.
Oh, God. Another Bo Burnham song. He turned 30 during that special.
Oh, yeah. By the way, what'd you think of that special?
I've done this 15 times already, but I fucking loved it.
I thought it was amazing, too.
I thought it was great. And I think the people that say it wasn't funny weren't fully listening. Like, there are a lot that are like sad songs, but there are even jokes in those.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think the tone of it like overwhelmed people, but it was also funny.
So I liked it and I thought it was funny. I just didn't relate to it like you two said.
I can understand that. But I think Welcome to the Internet is... I literally think Bo Burnham's like a Carlin level genius. I know people are going to think I'm fucking crazy, but...
He's funny.
No, I agree with that. For fucking sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's so basically this situation is like that tweet I put out. When you trash me for putting it out, but if I didn't, you'd be like, this motherfucker.
Well, that's me. I'm a hypocrite asshole. I want people. I mean, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
I crave attention. I want people to praise me. And then when they do, I'm like, oh, please stop. Get away from me.
Gross.
Don't touch me, dude.
And then they're like, oh, what an asshole for reacting like that. And I'm like, oh, that guy doesn't like me. Why doesn't he like me?
Wait, there was a question that had nothing to do with depression up here, but I thought, Mike, what do you cook at home and how?
You know, that they do teach you at the program I was in, they will teach you how to cook things visionless. I was literally cooking in the dark. At one point. I mean, shit like scrambled eggs and grilled cheese and that type of shit is very easy to make. Mostly frozen shit when I lived alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was basically just heating up frozen shit. But I mean, now I'm lucky enough to live with a woman that cooks pretty much every night. So,
have you tried any? I don't know these words, lab rat. Modalities
modalities.
or
Modalities of therapy.
lab rat. I think there's a typo there, or I'm stupid.
Dumb it down for us. Modalities or therapy was the question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can answer half, I guess. So yeah, I've been in therapy for a year and 5 months now, something like that. February last year. And he's calmed down the sexual talk lately, unfortunately. Maybe he heard the podcast.
Thinking that. Yeah, he must listen, right? Because I always thought that, like, when Kirk's talking about his therapist, I'm like, they must go listen.
He told me he checked it out once, which I thought was a little unprofessional.
It's extremely unprofessional.
Yeah.
Which episode was it?
But you know what? I think, I don't know. That's a great question, actually. But I think it was. So if I ever talk about like podcast, if you don't know, if you've never listened to the show, it doesn't make any fucking sense what I'm talking about. And not even that I talk about my job that much, but I'll talk about like my confidence related to my job and that sort of shit. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And like, I'll try to explain it. And he's like, so people you don't know are calling you a fat retard? I don't understand. He's like, well, there's a lot of times where I'm talking to my therapist and he's like, well, of course that's a horrible thing to say to someone. And I'm like, well, no, you don't get it. They're joking. And I'm taking it like they're not. And he's like, well, yeah, but what's the joke? They said you're a lazy moron. And I'm like, yeah, no, but it's all in fun.
Yeah, Ted, you're nice as ever, buddy.
What's he saying? Kill ourselves?
Matt makes Craig look slim. No wonder why Craig likes having him on the show.
Does that ever bother you, Matt? The weight shit? I mean, not enough to lose weight, obviously.
Send to this fucking retard. Why the hell would that bother me?
I don't go there that often.
I've been big my whole fucking life, dude. I've been dealing with. Huh?
There was 1 year.
All right, we don't need to go down that. We already know that I was skinny for a little bit, and that was the happiest time of my life. You don't need to go there.
Oh, well, hey, maybe.
How about that? Weird.
So that's the thing, and I'll say, I don't mean to shatter your world again, but it might be something where you've told yourself you're fine with your weight and everything, but if you got healthy and started to lose weight, then you'd feel better, which is kind of what I'm like. I feel so much better when I work out, and then I'll get fucking knocked off and eat pizza and feel depressed.
Lab rat says fat kids learn to not have feelings at a young age.
It's very true. It's
true.
Funny, but also genuinely true.
It's very true. That's why I like the fat jokes never bother me. That's why it was like, what's up, fat? I'm like, all right, I've heard way more.
The only time I get bothered by a fat joke if it's a really, really, really good one and it's a really personal one.
Yeah.
I don't get
exactly. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. And those people don't even necessarily mean it like that, but you're like, well, that's what I'm sensitive about.
Oh, the guy that,
or like when I remember one time I was with my mom. She made fucking dinner. I forget what the fuck it was, but
eat up your slob.
I already went to go grab something out of the fridge, and I grabbed a Coke, and she was just like, "You're gonna have a second Coke," and I was just, that feels like shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the worst.
That's the worst one.
That's the worst. Or when you go to a buffet and you're like, "Oh yeah, everyone's gonna hammer the shit," and they're like, "Wow, look at your plate." And you're like, "Oh, what do you mean?"
Or if Alba ever mentions that something she wanted is missing from the cabinet or the fridge, clearly I ate it. She's like, "Oh, where did these go?" I've got fucking crumbs on my mouth. I'm like, I don't know.
That's my favorite. That one, I always give like a 2-day rule. Like if it's something that I'm like, all right, it's been in there for 2 days. If they're not eating it, they're not eating it.
Yeah.
Then you eat it, and like 10 minutes later, they're like, "Where the fuck is it?"
Just the absence of it not being there pissed them off.
Yeah. Mike is a Doritos guy.
Oh, is he?
Lewis said that about you. I think Mike left. I think we brought him up, so he immediately left.
Oh, I'm a Doritos guy.
Yeah. I don't particularly love a Dorito. Doritos are underrated in the sense if they're out, I'll have a few, but I would never grab a bag of Doritos for myself. It's very rare. It's very rare. You ever do if you have like a Hershey's Kiss and then a Dorito, it'll be the best Dorito you've ever
Oh
had.
yeah,
in your
well,
life.
you fucking did that. You gave me that not that long ago. I was just like,
Because of
why?
the salt, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. You guys ever like just eat shredded cheese out the bag like an asshole? That's my
Shredded
favorite.
cheese?
Shredded cheese right out the bag.
I'll eat like string cheese.
I'll eat like a slice of American cheese.
Yeah, I guess.
American cheese is the king cheese. I don't care.
Like you're a
what
3-year-old at the deli.
And I wonder why I'm like this.
Yeah, and the little guy a slice of cheese.
you were just eating.
You guys are just eating dairy products?
I know what I meant to ask you, Matt.
Hmm.
Because me and Craig talked about this when you weren't around, so let that sink in.
Okay.
I asked if because the date was a Tinder date, right?
Yeah, Bumble, same shit.
So, yeah, that's what I met Elba on.
Oh, nice.
Worked out for him, but not you. How's that feel?
I'm just bragging. I just wanted to let you know a little bit about my life. No, I was curious if you use pictures that because Craig suggested that you use pictures that make you look a little thinner.
Probably, yeah.
Can we
See,
look? Yeah,
big-
hold on. Oh, finally.
Big
We're
mistake.
exclusive. We're getting the exclusive. You know, I don't have to read what you wrote. Just let me see the pictures you chose.
Big mistake. I would
This is
advise.
So
that's sexy Matt time. All right, so this is more or less the profile.
I think that's fucking hilarious, but
Yeah, but that was like 100 pounds ago.
that wasn't like 100 pounds ago. That was fucking
Look at that
6 months ago.
jawline, dude.
That was 6 months ago, Craig.
Could be. Could be.
that was
A lot can happen in 6 months.
Honestly, I thought you were joking. He more or less, if you're curious what pictures he's using, go to the Very Good Show YouTube and look at the episode when I made him a Tinder. It's more or less those pictures, which is incredible that you use them.
Yes, sir.
Well,
That's-
very nice.
That's pretty crazy. No, they're definitely
Slimming photos.
yeah, but definitely not slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest not don't make yourself look like a gross piece of shit either. But I would suggest you
Like
like
a bathtub with like a fucking thing of ranch, just like, hey, what's up?
just got a stained wife beater on.
Chef Lewis says blind guy got poon, but not Matt.
Well, listen,
No,
there's
that's
someone
why,
out there for everyone.
that's why we're gonna get Matt a date with the show.
I hope so. I hope we figure that out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go represent us tomorrow.
I'll do my best.
That
I'll call in maybe.
would be
I know
pretty
that's a
funny.
fun little thing. I just want you guys to secretly know it makes my skin crawl a little bit.
What,
I don't know why.
what asking people what they're
Just like, hey, you want to fuck this fat kid?
I guess we're going to ignore that he said scrin crawl.
hey, what's your sign? He's just got like 1,000 people booing him. Boo!
Any more questions before we get out of here?
Questions, people. Questions. The chat is popping.
Feel free. Hey, how would you guys feel about making this the free episode this week?
I'm down.
I'm up for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how do they find you on social media, gentlemen? And very good show everywhere you get podcasts.
Matt, go ahead.
All
bud.
right. Well, I'm very good, Matt, on Twitter. Very good, Matt.
And at Very Good Shows on Twitter, at Craig VGS, and listen to Very Good Show wherever you get podcasts. I don't know what the episode will be when this comes out. So
Oh yeah, right. Who knows? That'll be a real mystery for everyone. And there may be something in the works with Very Good Show on this here Patreon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But if you're listening for free, then for as little as $1 a month, you can be getting great programs like this. Although we kick the $1 people out for this particular show, but more often than not, you can get the Blind Mike Project at patreon.com/Blind Mike if you'd be so kind to do so. But a free way to support the show is just, subscribe on iTunes, leave a 5-star review, subscribe on YouTube, like, comment, tap the notification bell, all the same shit that every other goddamn show tells you to do. Do that for us if you'd be so kind.
yeah, do it. Do it. Fucking do it. Leave 5-star reviews, and if they're funny, I'll fucking read them because I
Yeah.
check them on both.
Yes. I won't because they'll hurt my feelings too much. But leave them on Very Good Shows page.
Yeah, they do, and they're not very nice, but they leave 5 stars. They leave 5 stars, and people are curious about Matt killing himself and stuff, but they leave it with 5 stars, so I read it. I read one 1-star review because I thought it was hilarious. but that was about it. Oh, good point, Chef Lewis. VGS quotes on Twitter. I forget the actual handle, is killing it. I think it's VGS quotes or something like that. VGS show quotes.
Show quotes, I think maybe.
Go look.
I can't remember.
Go follow that puppy. It's funny.
Yes. Join the VG. Buy a VGB shirt.
Yes.
And hey, if you want a shirt with our logo as well, they're all on teespring.com.
People are requesting the gray and green logo shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. Then we should do that.
All right.
Beautiful.
That won't be a problem. Especially
Fantastic.
how to,
now, what do they want? Here's the thing. Do they want a white shirt, though?
we can do white and black.
I say gray.
Or gray. Or I can see which one makes it pop. Like, we have some white shirts, and I actually
I like a gray. The thing is, I would never wear a white shirt.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I
too.
do in the summertime, and that's about it. So maybe some tank tops. Make some
Yeah.
tank tops.
Oh, we
some
should
black-
get some tank tops brewing, too.
Yeah, we got those.
I think the gig logo would look good on a tank top.
Everything would look good on a tank top. And it would look even better on the gearhead. So go fucking buy one.
Yes. Teespring.com/blindmike and teespring.com/
stores/very good show. Be the propaganda.
I don't like that you guys have a catchphrase now.
It's pretty great. I just love I love the play on the KGB. So go be internet assassins, please. Thank you.
All right. Do you think we have to do an intro now to explain to people what this is?
The intro to the show.
Yeah, like if we make it the free episode, do I now have to say, "Hey guys, we got a heck of a show for you today," or do we just let them figure it out?
Just let them figure it out and have Justin write something in the description.
All right, fuck 'em. Anything else before we get out of here, gents?
Hey, ask questions, people, real quick right now.
Yeah, if you have any, fire away. Feel free.
What's your go-to gas station snack? Great question.
Oh, Slim Jim.
No shit.
I love, you know what I love, and they don't always have these. Not a peanut M&M, a peanut butter M&M.
I just had peanut M&Ms right before we recorded.
Those are fucking
Peanut butter M&Ms are they're fine. They're good. They're a staple in the candy aisle. Peanut butter M&M, the orange bag, I think.
Yep.
Oh,
Divine.
we must
Very
have,
good.
We as a unit, we must have had about 10 pounds of those at my
Oh, dude.
my bachelor party.
Out of all the food, that was like the one thing that was like always gone.
Oh,
Out of
yeah.
that fucking bowl.
Oh yeah. Let's see. We need a VGS blind Mike snake draft of comics.
What?
Well, we could do something like that.
Yeah, we could.
I guess Matt would be out on that, though. Or he likes some comedy, right?
Yeah, I do. I don't really kind of follow it the way you guys follow it, but
Yeah.
Who's
We
your
could do something like that.
Who's your number one?
comedian?
Yeah.
Probably Bo Burnham right now, to be honest with you.
There you go.
I get in Bo Burnham. Like when I'm into Bo Burnham, I have listened. Like he put the album, like just the songs on YouTube. There's Welcome to the Internet and That's How the World Works.
Yeah.
I have listened to. What's that?
I go back and listen to it all the time too.
I've listened to those maybe 600 times in the last 3 weeks.
Or even like that introduction song he came. I just like the beat to that one.
Yeah, and the outro. I think it's all great. Honestly, the ones I don't like are the ones that are kind of supposed to be funnier.
Yeah, that's what.
Like White Woman's Instagram is very funny. Like FaceTime with my mom was not bad.
Sexting.
Yeah, it was okay.
See, I liked him reviewing his reviews in
That was very funny.
That was good.
I liked that.
Yeah. We should just name more things, and I'll go. That was funny. That was good.
That's why we had to when we were doing originally when we were looking back at comics, we had to start doing people that stunk because we would just be like, yeah, that was great.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Patrice episode was fun.
That was fun.
And I think it'll be fun to go through guys like that on the on Why Are You Laughing when that finally premieres.
That has more structure than we were like just playing it and laughing at it.
Yeah, and I think well, hopefully the idea, I guess, is to go through, kind of facts and things that people didn't necessarily know rather than just like, here's a clip of this guy.
Exactly. And you already announced that we were doing The Day the Laughter Died from Dice, which is just a great start.
I did. Did you get the first email I sent you where I timestamped everything?
I did.
There's a lot in there. So before we do it, feel free to go through and clean it up. But there were so many moments where I was like, well, we got to listen to this. We got to play this.
Oh, yeah. And I think for Lab Rat, who might appreciate this, I don't know. My all-time favorite comedy album is Skanks for the Memories from Dave Attell.
That is a good one.
That's a great one.
Fucking amazing.
My
That-
buddy,
one.
my buddy, the great Tim Hayes has, or he used to, his fucking like radio was broken and he had a CD player and like he couldn't hook up his phone to the car and so he had one CD and it was Dave Attell's Skanks for the Memories and he would just listen to that over and over again.
I look like Andre Agassi with a drug problem. The whole thing is funny.
Yeah.
The whole fucking thing is so funny. I love
Yeah,
it.
my favorite special of all time would probably be it's either Killing Him Softly, Dave Chappelle, or maybe Please Be Offended, Bill Burr, the Bill Burr black and white one.
That was good.
See, I have to watch that one over
Oh
again.
no, is that Please Be Offended? I'm Sorry You Feel That Way is the name of it, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Let It Go. I think Let It Go is Bill Burr's best by
Oh,
like
yeah.
miles.
Yeah, that might. I think I just when I saw I'm Sorry You Feel That Way, I had
Mhm.
seen the other Bill Burr shit so much.
Yeah, just the whole that was back when Bill Burr was at his peak anger. His wife hadn't changed the direction
Yeah.
of his career yet.
Oh, ups and daisies, sweetheart.
Just the whole wanting to pet it. I can't say it here, I don't think, but the whole bit, what are you a blank?
Yeah. Let's just keep this one free, huh?
That's why I censored myself. But that
I
whole
appreciate
bit, I've never laughed so hard. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
It's true too.
You put your shoulders up.
And I really wanted a cookie.
You just want to pet the dog because it's cute. It's great.
All right. Hey, more of this to come on Why Are You Laughing? Probably in the fall, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah,
But on Patreon, it'll be up early. So
it will be.
Patreon.com/blindmike.
Go check it out, people. Come on, let me quit my job. Everyone go subscribe, please. For the love of fuck.
Yes. And hopefully, did Jerry let you know anything about future plans?
He told me to be ready for next week, but I got other.
Jerry, are you going to start paying? I can't. How can I?
I think I'm when Carano can't guy at the moment.
Yeah. You know what's going to break you?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna fuck up with your job because at some point he's gonna really warm your heart when he says, "Come on, Ironhead, for me."
like today when I was very late and I got home at like 6:30 tonight.
Ironhead, IH, come on, buddy.
Craig is a terrible name. What was your nickname? Ironhead. That's good.
It's very fitting that your Alex Jones impression and your Jerry impression are exactly the same.
No, my Alex Jones impression is pretty good, but I just like he's like Craig's a terrible name, and then I told him his irony. He's like, I love it.
That's Jerry. He's a funny guy. All right, like I said, listen to Very Good Show. Subscribe to Blind Mike Project. All that stuff I already said, and we'll talk to you at some point. If you subscribe to Patreon.com, then sooner rather than later. Goodbye.
And I think to myself,